Hey everybody, it's Chase with AVA Pop Culture again, and today we turn the page to November and we are going to do a November challenge watch list. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so a November watch list. Now this is something I don't see a lot of people do. November's hard to put your finger on in a lot of ways because you just are kind of turning the page from Halloween. You've been going hardcore spooky season, hardcore, horror movies, all that kind of stuff. And towards the end of the month, you have Thanksgiving, but stuff kind of turns towards Christmas, middle of the month. By Thanksgiving, everything is full Christmas underway. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of this lost month. But a lot of you guys loved my Halloween October challenge watch list so much that I thought, we could maybe do this each month. And I basically would just share with you what I tend to watch around that time, whatever time of year it is. And, kind of curate a watch list for each month, even the months without like huge holidays. This one, though, I thought was very interesting to do because this one runs the gamut, maybe more than any other month, from what we've just left to where we're going. And I thought, let me just kind of give you guys an idea of what I watch. And there'll be some other lists this month, too, with things that I watch around this time of year. Rom-coms, it's coupling season, as they say. Fall vibe stuff, Christmas stuff, obviously later on, holiday stuff, all that kind of thing. I also watch a lot of kind of mysteries and stuff like that around this month. So lots of lists, and this list here of recommendations in this challenge list might be the most diverse challenge list that you are ever going to undertake. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to let you know I don't have all of these on physical media, but I'll show you the ones that I do. And considering how just yesterday was Halloween, and it's hard to flip a switch, I'm going to ease you in, and we're going to go with a little bit of Thanksgiving-related horror movies. So we're kind of going to bridge that gap over. Now, I recommend, as a palate cleanser, before this, to say goodbye to Halloween, I'll watch like Hubie Halloween or Hocus Pocus. It's like a goodbye to Halloween, and you kind of turn over. But I would say, since it was just Halloween yesterday, all your Halloween decorations are still up. You just had trick-or-treaters. Maybe it's a good time for something like Thanksgiving. Now, this one you can stream. I don't have this one. This one is a pretty violent Thanksgiving-themed horror movie. Pretty ridiculous. The opening sequences in this movie in the stores are just over-the-top, violent, over-the-top, ridiculous. But it's a horror movie, so it helps you change that page over from Halloween, and it starts to get your mindset on Thanksgiving. So let's start the month still saying goodbye to horror and a little hello to Thanksgiving with Thanksgiving. All right, the next day on the 2nd, we're ready to get a little bit easier, start to move away from that horror a little bit, but maybe a little bit lighter Thanksgiving horror, something we've all experienced before, and I am talking about Black Friday. Now, this has a great cast. It's got Bruce Campbell in here, Devon Sawa, Michael J. White, and they basically run a department store, and like aliens, zombies take over. So everybody becomes like a zombie. They're trying to survive Black Friday. It's very got very comedic elements to it. So while scary and while it's still horror, it is Thanksgiving and Black Friday themed, but it does have those comedy aspects that you would expect from a Bruce Campbell kind of horror movie. So it's kind of turning that page over even more. And this one will be the one that we kind of say goodbye to, like horror with. So Black Friday. So now we've established some Thanksgiving vibes that still tie in with our horror vibes, and Black Friday is second on the list. Next up on the list is one where we transform. We start to go more. It's still it's classified as a horror, but it has a lot of fall vibes, a lot of atmosphere to it. It's one I've talked about on the channel before. I'm talking about Needful Things. So this thing is going to have all of your small town atmosphere that you could possibly want, that creepy small town atmosphere. There are leaves blowing all over the place. You have Max von Sydow in this movie playing Leland Gaunt, aka the Devil. He comes to town, and he just so happens to have an antique store that has everyone's needful thing, and he doesn't want your money. He wants to mark your soul. He wants to get you to do these bad deeds to other people, to kind of set up all of this stuff as dominoes, to watch these people destroy their souls and destroy each other. He is absolute great devil. And while horror, it's not bloody, it's not gory, it's more atmospheric, and it has a lot of fall atmosphere, lots of that feeling. There's a lot of good food shots and stuff in this movie. So I am going to say Needful Things is our sort of, move on into away from horror and kind of get into the atmosphere of fall. So Needful Things comes in on the third. Now the fourth is one that I don't have, but it just came out on 4K, and it's got a little horror vibes to it. It's the last thing with any horror vibes, but it's really not a horror. It's a family film, and it has become kind of synonymous with Thanksgiving, and I am talking about Addams Family Values. So there is a whole sequence in this movie. This is, of course, the sequel to the Addams Family. I love both of these movies. I actually don't have either one of them, though. I need the 4K of both of these because I grew up watching these. I love these movies. But there is a whole sequence at the camp where they put on a Thanksgiving play, and Wednesday goes into it, and her and Pugsley, that might be, people kind of consider this almost a Thanksgiving movie because of that. So it finds itself here as a good transition to anything spooky vibe. Now we're away from that, and we bring in those comedy and family elements and some Thanksgiving stuff. So Addams Family Values comes in on November the 4th. Now, next up, we kind of change total vibes here, but it's still all kind of some kind of way connects together in my mind, because you guys know I am about the vibes, the feelings, the nostalgia of the movies. It's not just about damn lists. Anybody can get a list. Anybody can pop a movie in. It's making that mental connection to them, that nostalgic connection to them, and around this time of year, I will get into wanting to watch kind of like classic fun family adventure movies as well. And one, I don't know why, to me, maybe it's the stately nature of this film that feels like it fits in with November, but I am talking about National Treasure. Now, I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan. This is a fun, you get all this history of America, so it just kind of feels like that it belongs in November for some reason to me, because you got the whole thing with the pilgrims and all that kind of stuff, and the fall, and of course they're dressed warmly in this. You're explaining all this stuff with our forefathers and everything. It just feels like it fits, like all those kind of vibes tie in. And this is a fun movie, good for the whole family, a fun American adventure, National Treasure. So staying with that theme, another series that I tend to watch every November, and I usually start here with this one, is Indiana Jones. It kind of fits, same thing. Anytime I feel like you get history, American history, and then you get all this nostalgia of the past, because this takes place back in the 1930s to start with, or 40s. You get that feeling of history, and that just fits in with November with me. My buddy Brian, I could not find this anywhere. I had the other Steelbooks. Brian over at the Last Movie Standing, he found this over in Texas and sent it to me. It does have a little ding in it, but man, beggars can't be choosers. Got my Blockbuster box set to keep it safe in. I don't know, just the colors, the feel, the vibes, all that stuff. The adventure fits in with me and comes nice right after National Treasure. All right, so we kind of got that kind of feeling going, like an overall just vibe. And another series of films that have a lot of like fall and Halloweeny and Christmas vibes, this weird conglomeration of vibes to me, is the Harry Potter films. So right here with this family adventure and all the vibes, I will go in and watch the original Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This comes in on the 7th of November. And it's a classic, a lot of fun. Of course, we go to Universal Studios all the time, so we see they have the Harry Potter lands there. I don't know, though, just something about the school, like the private school, the kind of witchy vibes. It just has that sort of fall atmosphere that it's kind of odd. They're known as being very like Halloweeny and very Christmassy and fall vibes to these. People kind of place them here. They'll put them on the 25 Days of Christmas. So I don't know. It feels like it fits right in here with me. So we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone coming in on November 7th. Continuing that family adventure style is another classic that I go with at this time of year, and that is Hook. This is a fun movie, of course, to take on Peter Pan. This is one of my favorites ever. I love Robin Williams, and I think that this is a good, like it just feels like you're inside more. November, it's getting colder, and you just have those vibes, and all the families in there. And this is one of those kind of like heartwarming family adventures that you can go on together. That's with all of these, and I feel like it's a nice, I don't know, I just feel like it's the right vibe for sort of early mid-November, before you change over to Christmas and stuff like that. So Hook is, Peter Pan. Robin Williams is Peter Pan. Get the hell out of town. You got to love Hook. All right, and then staying with that sort of family adventure. Now, this next one can definitely lean Christmas. And I have these somewhere. I have all these. I can't find them. My kids may have them in another room. I noticed after I did my horror video, I had horror films and like my son had them in his room and stuff. But this one I know I have, and it is a family classic. It definitely, like I said, leans more Christmas, but that's, we're down to November 9th here. So things are going to start to look a lot more like Christmas, even though Thanksgiving is heading out there. So I am talking about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I love these movies. These books were great. C.S. Lewis, family adventure, a very good Christian message to them. But whether you're a Christian or not, you can enjoy the scenery, the family, like the family vibes, the adventure, all of that. It's very, very good. They do meet Santa Claus in these movies, so very, very good movies. It fits in with the family sort of adventure vibes that we're going for here. And then we'll kind of turn the page to a little bit different stuff that I like to watch in November. So the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Now, you can watch them all. That's the one that we usually focus on. Comes in on November 9th. Get a little water here. All right, so coming in on November 10th is another one I don't have. And this one is a little sad, so I don't always have it on a bunch of lists, but I'm talking about Sweet November. This is Charlize Theron, Keanu Reeves, and they spend a November together. She is sick. There's a lot of sadness there, but there's a lot of November and fall vibes. And November, this time of year, is coupling season, they'll call it. So you're going to it's a good time for rom-coms and stuff like that. So Sweet November comes in at November 10th on our list. It's a hard one for me to watch, so this might be the hardest one on the challenge. Now, next up is one that I absolutely love, all the fall vibes, fun. You've got fall in New York, all of that. Perfect for this. I'm talking about You've Got Mail. It was on my fall vibes list, and for good reason. It has all those beautiful New York vibes. They're at fall festivals. There's leaves blowing this way and that. It's got the whole bookstore feel to it. They're in sweaters, all that kind. It is perfect for this time of year. You've Got Mail, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan. It's very nostalgic for those of us who grew up in the early, like before the internet, and then remember, when the internet came in and you had the sound of the dial up and the You've Got Mail. Great rom-com here, one of my favorites, and it comes in here at November 11th. They can't all be sappy love stories and things like that in here. You got to have a little bit of fun too, and this one is about traveling back home for the holidays after you have gone out and made good. And I love Ryan Reynolds, so we got to go with Just Friends. And you see, it's one of my old previously viewed from Hollywood Video. This movie is hilarious. Ryan Reynolds plays a guy who's now wildly successful out in California, and Amy Smart is his childhood crush. They were best friends. He used to be really fat and stuff when he was in high school. Now he's, of course, in great shape. He's dealing with this actress that comes back with him. All the crazy, I guess you would say like comedy of errors that happen when he's back home that takes him away from being the stud he's become back to being the nerd that he always was when he was younger. It is a lot of fun. Ryan Reynolds, man, I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. He makes everything fun, and this is no different. Just Friends fits in perfectly here. They're traveling for the holidays. That all weirdness, if you come home and you're around family and friends that you haven't seen a lot in the holidays, it fits in perfect. So Just Friends comes in on our list on the 12th of November. Now, next up on the list is maybe my favorite rom-com of all time. Of all time. Maybe. I am talking about Notting Hill. This has a lot of like movie vibes to it. So I love that, but I don't know. You see lots of seasons change in this movie. You have Hugh Grant, who I love in this. This might be my favorite performance of his, and Julia Roberts as well. She, of course, plays a huge movie star in this movie who, has a meets Hugh Grant in London or around London, Notting Hill area. He has a travel bookstore, and just through a series of events, they end up being involved with each other. It's hilarious, and he gets sucked into her world, and when things don't work out initially, he can't just, she's everywhere. She's famous, and it's like he touched the stars or something, and now he's got to go back to live with the commoners, and it just doesn't work out that well. And it is a really, really good movie. It has movie vibes in it, which I love. It has the season change vibes, which I love. This is one of my favorite, maybe my favorite rom-com ever, Notting Hill. It comes in on November the 13th. Now, November 14th is one that I do not have on physical media. I could not believe I do not have this movie. This is why you got to keep track of your collection. I am talking about Miss Doubtfire. Again, while not necessarily like a Thanksgiving movie or anything, or a fall movie necessarily, it has those family vibes. It has that warmth to it. There's a lot of cooking in it, so that kind of fits in. But nothing is more like fall, Thanksgiving, holiday time of year than family. And what Robin Williams does in this movie to be with his children. Like, I have even more soft spot as I'm a father. But what he does to be with his children is incredible. This movie is hilarious. Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan. This movie is absolutely great. Perfect for this time of year. Watch it with your family. Have your heart warmed and enjoy it on a chilly fall night. Miss Doubtfire. I just think it's perfect for this time of year. We are just less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and I feel like this one fits here. A couple of these are going to come out of left field on you guys, but I am talking about Steel Magnolias. Now, I only have this old VHS of this, but I do watch it over here. Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, Daryl Hannah, Olympia Dukakis, Julia Roberts, Tom Skerritt. This movie is really good. Of course, it's just about these women. They live in New Orleans or around New Orleans, and Julia Roberts is getting married to, is it Dylan McDermott? I can't remember. Yeah, Dylan McDermott. Hey, I was right. Couldn't remember it right off the top of my head. And, I mean, it's just like a slice of life type drama. Now, it gets a little sad, a little bit heavy, but the interaction here, and of course, there's a lot of food and stuff like that. And for me, I think of that, I'm probably going to have a movies related to food list for November as well. But just a classic, a damn good movie. And I don't know, just about that family and fellowship and food and all that stuff. It just feels like it fits in. So Steel Magnolias comes in on November 15th. Now, another one that I'm very partial to as a Southerner, especially from right here in Georgia, is because the place where this is filmed is about an hour and a half away from me. Fried green tomatoes. Again, I have this old VHS here. Kathy Bates, Jessica Tandy. The whole movie is told. Chris O'Donnell is in this film. Mary Stuart Masterson. The whole film is like about the old South, and a guy I know, an actor who plays a bad guy in this, kind of Nick Searcy, is in this film. It's old flashbacks, Southern. Kathy Bates is visiting like her mother-in-law at a nursing home, and she meets Jessica Tandy, and Jessica tells her like all these stories of her life, which is incredible. This movie involves, like I said, flashbacks to much longer ago, and that very old Southern, super small town country vibe. If you watch this movie, and that whole like small town with the country kitchen and the country diners and how you could walk to everywhere in those big houses and the train tracks, you'll get a very good idea of where I grew up, because it looks very much like that. At least until we moved into the south side of Atlanta. But I don't know. This movie is very famous. It just feels like it fits. The food, the vibe, all of it again, family, and fried green tomatoes comes in on November 16th. Now we're going to change gears and go back to that sort of like history vibe that I also feel like fits in the month of November. And, you think about us establishing this country, establishing America, and I feel like this one has to be in there, and I am talking about Scorsese's Gangs of New York. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis go without saying. They are above and beyond in their acting in this, particularly Daniel Day-Lewis. Cameron Diaz is out of place for me on this. She gets blown off the screen with those guys. But like about how all of like America was established in the grittiness and like all of that kind of stuff of where we came from, where we're going, like the power and the will and stuff of people, and just our history. I feel like, and maybe it's because I'm biased because I was a history teacher, but I feel like November is a good time for American history focused in that vibe and that adventure vibe and that spirit. So Gangs of New York comes in on our list at the 17th. Now, staying with that history theme, this is one that I tend to watch. I'll watch this one in July, too, so maybe it makes a little more sense in July. But that American history theme again, The Patriot. You got to have it in there. If you're talking about, like, American history vibe, that sort of colonial thing, during the Revolutionary War. that feels very Thanksgiving-y, very fall. And then the history of America, I just feel like it fits in there hand in glove. It feels like it comes really good right there with Gangs of New York. Maybe you could flip-flop them, but I'm trying to soften it back out. The Patriot definitely has its sad moments, but also just awesome as hell. So The Patriot comes in at November 18th. Now, November 19th is one that I don't have, and I've mentioned this one before. I think it fits in perfect because another thing I like to enjoy around this time of year are like murder mysteries. Maybe not noir. I know people do like November noir or whatever. So maybe not that far, but like sort of atmospheric mysteries, spooky mysteries, I want to say, are just stately. I'm trying to think of like a good word to describe it. I'm going to do probably a whole list of these. This one definitely pops on here. I'm talking about Knives Out. And the reason why Knives Out pops on here is because of the fall atmosphere. It's ridiculous. It looks like a private school that they're going to at this house. That the leaves everywhere, the way Chris Evans is dressed with his sweaters and gloves, and you got the Sherlock Holmes style investigator there. It just fits with me. Knives Out. I think I had it on my fall watch list. It belongs on here, and kind of gives you a little taste of sort of the mysteries that I like to do around this time of year. And with the next one on the list is one that I've never talked about, and I don't know that I've ever seen anybody on this channel talk about. Now, normally I will watch this much earlier in November or right at the end of October, because I usually watch it. I play football at Georgia. I'm a Georgia fan, and Georgia plays the Florida Gators around Halloween or the first weekend in November. And for some reason, I always associated this with it. But I am talking about Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. If you have never seen this movie, run, don't walk to go see it. You've got, or to get it, you've got John Cusack, who is good in this. Kevin Spacey, no matter what you think of him, he's great in this. But you also have Jude Law in here in an early performance, doing really well. Now, why do I watch it? This is based on a true story. This is based on a book. And this all takes place in Savannah, Georgia, which is about 3 hours from me. And it involves at the University of Georgia, we have our live mascot, Ugga. And the Ugga bloodline is raised by the Seiler family, who are in Savannah, and he was a very prominent attorney. Well, in this movie, Kevin Spacey is a very rich man. John Cusack is, he writes for Town and Country. He is sent down to cover Kevin Spacey's legendary, beautiful Christmas parties a couple of weeks ahead of Christmas. So it kind of fits into this time period. And Kevin Spacey's character is accused of murder, and Sonny Seiler is his attorney. And in this movie, you actually see Ugga in this movie. And the Georgia Bulldogs, they play a little part in this movie.
Please have my picture made with Ugga. Thanks. Dang good dog.
No matter what you and I ever do in our lives, Mr. Kelso, neither of us will ever be as famous as Ugga. He's the university mascot, the Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, right.
But this is filmed all through the streets of Savannah. And in the movie, Sonny Seiler has to leave during the trial because he's got to take the dog to go to the Georgia-Florida game. And, all of that really happens. They actually cast locals who were in the book. They are in the movie. Clint Eastwood's daughter is in here. They film in legendary Bonaventure Cemetery, where I actually pulled every string I have and talked them into letting me film some of my found footage movie, Realm of Souls, in Bonaventure Cemetery. But that's where this very famous statue is. This is a murder mystery of the very old aristocratic Southern vibes. Now, it's supposed to have taken place like in the 80s, so not like forever ago or anything. Just incredible whodunit mystery, a little bit of scariness, a little spooky, because trust me, everybody in Savannah believes in ghosts, brother. Everybody does. But just beautiful scenery. This is one very, very underrated movie. Check out Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. You will not be disappointed. Next up on our list is one you're probably not thinking of, but it's family again, a little bit different kind of family. And this family of four brothers, Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese, Andre Benjamin, Garrett Hedlund, they're like foster brothers. They come back to visit their foster mother for Thanksgiving, and she gets killed. They go after the guys who did it. They came home to bury their mom and her killer. I actually kind of dig this movie. I like the different personalities, all that kind of stuff coming together with the brothers. I like how they work together. I like a lot about this movie. It's just loosely based on, you know, coming back together for that. But, you know, it's kind of gritty. Maybe it's off a little bit, but I don't know why. I tend to watch it. If I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch it around this time of year. It's something about the family, no matter what your family's like, coming together. So Four Brothers. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Comes in on the 21st there. And then we are going to go with, you know, there had to be a football movie. You know, there had to be. And this is kind of like a nice step back to a little bit lighter stuff. But it's still a drama that is just chocked full of atmosphere. And I'm talking about School Ties. School Ties has tons of fall atmosphere because it takes place during football season in like the 50s. Brandon Fraser, who I love, is a quarterback that gets recruited to this like Ivy League type private high school, boarding school. Chris O'Donnell's in here. Matt Damon's in here. Ben Affleck is in here. This thing is loaded with people. They hide the fact, because he's going to like a Catholic school, they hide the fact that he's Jewish. That plays into it. But I mean, you've got the old school football leather helmets, just fall atmosphere, the old school like Letterman sweaters, poodle skirts, all that stuff, and football. Forget about it. All scenery fits perfect around this time of year. Very stately, and it's a good football movie, a good fit in here. I could make a whole list of football movies to watch here. I did football movies recently, though, and School Ties, though, I think fits great right around this time of year. All right, so now we are up to the 23rd, I believe. So we are right here ready for Christmas. We are for Thanksgiving, and then we're going to start to turn towards Christmas a little bit. But going back to that sort of family adventure type thing, we are on the 23rd, right? Yeah, the 23rd. I think this one's perfect. I don't know why. Again, history stuff gives me those vibes, and then when you put it in like the fall time of year, it's a lot of fun. Night at the Museum. I think it's perfect. I think this is a perfect movie for this time of year. You can double feature on both. Ben Stiller, of course, he takes over as a night watchman at the museum. Everything comes to life at nighttime. So you got a little magic, a little fantasy, but you also have all these historical things coming to life. He's doing it for his family. He's a big dreamer. I just feel like it is perfect for this time. And then you have Robin Williams as Roosevelt in here. And I don't know. I just think it's, like I said, it's pure fun for the entire family. I think it fits perfect in this time of year. So night at the museum, family's around already. Everybody can enjoy this one. But we are up to the 24th, and you know this one had to be on here. I do not have this on physical media, but I am talking about John Candy, Steve Martin, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It has to be here. It's a Thanksgiving travel home, quintessential watching. Talk about comedy of errors as they're trying to get home. And like from what I know about this movie, though, there's some very like gut-wrenching, hellaciously incredible performances that got by John Candy when he's talking about his character that got cut way down or cut out because they were too sad and they brought the movie down a lot. But you talk about people coming together, and then you put in all this comedy of errors and stuff when we're trying to travel to get home at the holiday time of year. I know I've heard the 4K transfer isn't great of this. I don't care. I need to get this on physical media. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a must-watch movie at this time of year, and that comes in on the 24th. Now, the 25th is another travel Thanksgiving type of movie, and it's one I don't hear people talk about a lot. This is an Ed O'Neill movie called Dutch. Dutch is a hell of a lot of fun. Ed O'Neill is trying to travel. It's from it. I want to say it's from it. He's either going from Atlanta to Chicago or Chicago to Atlanta. I can't remember, with his bratty ass kid. And the way they connect, everything about it. Again, you have like all these obstacles in the travel around the holidays. I feel like it's just another perfect fit here. I don't have it. I don't even know if there's like a 4K or even a Blu-ray of this movie. I haven't seen this movie in a really long time. It's probably been 2 years since I watched it around this time of year, caught it on TV. It wasn't last year, but the year before, so it's been a while. So I'm going to make it a mission to watch it again this year because I think it's a very underappreciated Ed O'Neill movie, and it's got to be right here at Thanksgiving. So make sure you check out Dutch. It is on the 25th. Now, on the 26th, we're getting right there to Thanksgiving, and I normally don't put these stuff like this on the list, but you got the Garfield and the Peanuts Thanksgiving specials. I'll do a day where I watch a bunch of Thanksgiving specials, just a few days ahead of Thanksgiving. Garfield, Peanuts. We'll watch the Thanksgiving episodes of Friends. There's a Thanksgiving episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I will go and watch all Thanksgiving episodes of different shows and stuff like that I like. So this is the day that I picked to do that. I'm probably going to do a list of like the best Friends Thanksgiving episodes because I feel like that's what they were known for. But that kind of stuff. Today, the 26th, is your Thanksgiving specials day. So that Garfield, Peanuts, quintessential. If you're a Friends fan, Buffy has a Thanksgiving episode. Like I said, go find Thanksgiving episodes of your favorite shows and do them on this day. Now, the next one is maybe my favorite Thanksgiving comedy of all time. And this is coming in on the 27th. So this is the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to watch this and have a blast. And I'm talking about Son-in-Law, buddy. Now, if you grew up around where I did, like Pauly Shore, whether he was in Encino Man, Biodome, it didn't matter what he was in, but especially Son-in-Law might be my favorite of his, because you take his weird ass and Carla Gugino, who is beautiful, and she's from Nebraska. Her family has a farm. You got Lane Smith, who was a great character actor, was in My Cousin Vinny, the same make and model tire. But Lane Smith had been in a lot of movies. And you have the Squishy Cheeks kid from Sandlot. I just totally blanked on his name. But Carla Gugino wants to lead, and Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, hello, is in this movie, and she does a striptease. But Carla Gugino goes from Nebraska to L.A. To go to school. She doesn't fit in. She meets Pauly Shore, who's her resident advisor. They come back to Thanksgiving at home on the farm in Nebraska because she wasn't going to leave her new buddy there alone for Thanksgiving. And it's like oil and water with him and the family. And so the differences, the fish out of water stuff make it hilarious. But then you have all of this beautiful fall and farm atmosphere, and they're there for Thanksgiving. So it's all building to Thanksgiving. And of course, they love each other more than they realize. They pretend to be married to get her out of a bad situation. It is a hell of a lot of fun. I do not get tired of this movie. I was absolutely, this and Miss Doubtfire, I was flabbergasted to find that I did not have on physical media. I'm like, because I visually picture having them. So I have no idea where they are. I have no idea. I was flabbergasted. Because I friggin' love this movie. But Son-in-Law is a absolute must watch for me every year at Thanksgiving. It is a Thanksgiving quintessential comedy. Check out Son-in-Law the night before Thanksgiving and get ready. Now we have a tradition here because I can cook pretty good, and I will go usually on Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. We will go over and I will help my mom prepare food and cook, get stuff pre-prepped and pre-cooked for the next day. And we will, while we're cooking, start to listen to Christmas music. That's like the kickoff for us. And now we might already have decorations by then, but because we're Southern and we over decorate. But that's sort of the kickoff. And then I'll come home and I'll watch this. I'll watch Son-in-Law. Absolutely love it. And you got to check it out. Now, the day of Thanksgiving, this is the 28th this year. You might be a little surprised by this, but I associate these movies with Thanksgiving, and I marathon all of this franchise during the month of November. But on Thanksgiving Day, at some point between food, football, whatever, before I go to sleep, somewhere, somehow, Rocky and Rocky 2 are going to be on my TV on Thanksgiving Day. I associate them with Thanksgiving. Rocky is my favorite movie of all time, regardless of genre. Rocky is. And it is very tied in with Thanksgiving, and then it goes into Christmas time and New Year's. And the same with part 2. But particularly 1, they talk about it being Thanksgiving a lot. Paulie throws the turkey out into the alleyway. They go to ice skate and they have their date on Thanksgiving night. So I don't know. I just associate it with this time, and sort of the vibe, the look, the atmosphere of the film fits with this time of year. So I watch all of these movies in November every year. But on Thanksgiving, these two are going to come on my TV at some point before I close my eyes Thanksgiving night. So Rocky on Thanksgiving Day. All right. Now on the 29th, that's the day after Thanksgiving. And this year it's really close. So it's time to start to turn. If you haven't worked in some Christmas movies already, it's time to start to turn the page. And you turn the page with some classics. So the day after Thanksgiving, Miracle on 34th Street. A great time for that one. That movie kind of starts with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So it's perfect for that time. It was the day before, but it kind of ties in Thanksgiving and moves towards Christmas. And it's a classic, family still in town, whatever. Get away from the craziness of football and Black Friday and all that stuff. And you can pop on Miracle on 34th Street the day after Thanksgiving and chill. And then the last day of the month, I pop in one of my favorite movies of all time. So on my top 25 list. And it is a perfect one to kind of watch right now. And then I will save it till Christmas Eve night, usually. And I am talking about It's a Wonderful Life. So it wasn't initially directly supposed to have been a Christmas movie, right? And we associate it with Christmas because of how it ends and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't really intended as that necessarily. And I think it fits, again, family and all that kind of stuff and what they go through. It's not just Christmas. It's a classic. You go through the holiday season, you go with George Bailey, you have the perfect, heartwarming story to remind you of what to be thankful for and going forward into Christmas and the gratitude of the life that we all have. If you're watching this, you're collecting physical media, we are blessed. No matter how stressed we're going through, we are blessed. And this is a nice little reminder of that. And then it kind of ties in that thankfulness, and it kicks you on further to Christmas and carry that gratitude in, and the feelings and the vibes of the Christmas and the holiday season, and gets you ready for a Christmas viewing list, which will come. So I'll usually watch this right at the end of November, and then I won't touch it again until Christmas Eve night, and I'll pop it in on Christmas Eve night. And so It's a Wonderful Life finishes off our list. I told you this would be the most diverse and interesting list and that you're ever going to see in a challenge list for a month. Now, you're going to see a few of these movies again because I'm going to have other lists as I touched on different things that I like to watch at this time of year. This is basically a sampler, a box of chocolates sampler of different stuff. So we're probably going to have a list of mysteries that we're going to do, of family-friendly adventure movies that we're going to do, all that kind of stuff that fits in with this time of year. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Take on the challenge, mix it up a little bit, and have a hell of a lot of fun. You start with a horror movie and you end with It's a Wonderful Life. You know it's a crazy wide list. Enjoy it. This is a different time of year. It's a lot of fun. We got so much to come. We do everything here: lists, rankings, watch list challenges, 4K reviews, physical media news, all from a fan and filmmaker's perspective. If you guys enjoy this, I am very thankful, very grateful. And I would be very thankful and grateful if you would like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If you want to help support the channel even more, I'm eternally grateful for that too. You can join at my Patreon link below or right here on YouTube. You get your name and lights here, of course, behind the scenes, special videos. I got some coming, and all kinds of things. And it really does help out the channel. And I thank you all so much. We are just getting started. Many years to go and a hell of a lot of fun, and I am very thankful for it. So until next time, you know it. Be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye now.